各位同学们好啊！今天呢是我们的初级班最后一节课，那今天是学 section7。
The last clause that we have in SQL is something called the having clause. And the having clause is very similar to the where clause, except where the where clause filters out rows of data based on column values, the having clause filters out groups based on aggregate functions. And we'll see that in just a few minutes. Again, with every new clause, I want to introduce the general form so we can see how everything combines together. So we have our select clause, our from clause, our where clause follows that. I'm just going to say where some filtering condition. We have the group by clause, group by some column name or multiple columns. I'm going to put a space. Then we have the order by clause. We'll say column name, ordinal, or alias. And the fifth clause that we write, which immediately follows the group by clause, is the having clause. The having clause is very similar to the where clause in both its usage and how we type it out syntactically. The difference is that instead of saying having some column with some comparison operator, so having, say, first name equal to this, we're going to say having some aggregate function with some comparison operator applied, meeting some criteria. So with the having clause, we'll say things like having the sum of total due greater than 1 million. So a subtle difference that you have to keep in mind is that the where clause filters out rows of data based on column values, while the having clause filters out groups based on aggregate function values. So let's take a look at an example. Let's write a query that finds for each territory how many sales did they do in the year 2006. So I'm going to say select star from sales.salesorderHeader, call that SOH. I'm going to inner join to the sales.sales territory table so that I can see the territory name as opposed to just the territory ID. We'll call this ST. We're joining on the territory ID columns within each table. And I want to limit my set to only those orders that were placed in 2006. So I say where order date between 1/1/2006 and 12/31/2006. Now I wanted to see the total sales by territory, so I'm going to say select st.name as territory name, and then the sum of total due column as total sales 2006. Now I need to group by the territory name, else my query will fail. And let's just order by 1, or order by the territory name. So when I execute this, now I see for each territory what was the total sales for just those orders that were placed in the year 2006. But suppose I only wanted to return those territories that did at least $4 million in sales. How would I do that? The having clause, again, filters out groups, which in this case is the territory, since we're grouping by the territory. So the having clause filters out groups based on aggregate functions. So if I wanted to find only those rows, or only those territories, that did at least $4 million in sales, I can say having sum of total due, our aggregate function, greater than 4 million. And when I execute this, I only return the 3 territories or the 3 groups where this condition was met, where the aggregate function, the sum of the total due column, exceeded 4 million. So let's take a look at another example. In the production.product table, we have this product subcategory ID column. Suppose I only wanted to return those product subcategories that had at least 15 products within that subcategory. To do that, we're going to join from production.product, and let's just do an inner join to exclude all the null product subcategories. So we're going to inner join to production.product subcategory, call that PS. We're joining on the product subcategory ID in both tables. Now I want to return the subcategory name, which is in the PS or production.product subcategory table. We'll call it as subcategory name. And I want to find the number of products associated with each subcategory. So to do that, I can use the count function. I'm going to say count of star as product count. Now if I run this, I'll get an error because I haven't grouped by the subcategory name. So now I say group by ps.name, and I'm just going to order by 1. So this particular subcategory, bottles and cages, has 3 products contained within that subcategory. But again, I only wanted to see those subcategories that had at least 15 products. So at this point, we're not filtering rows of data, we're filtering groups. So that's our cue to use the having clause. So now I'm going to say having, what's our aggregate function that we're filtering on in this case? The count of star, or the product count, and we want it to be at least 15. So I say greater than or equal to 15. And now, when I execute this code, I only return those subcategories that had at least 15 products categorized in that subcategory. Not to be redundant, but this is an incredibly important difference. The where clause filters out rows of data based on column values. The having clause filters out groups based on aggregate functions. So you'll never say where count of star or where sum of something in the where clause. It's always going to be in the having clause. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at a few more examples and then wrap this section up.
上一个视频呢，主要讲的是 having， 那 having 是什么，对吧？它其实也是一种筛选。那筛选，那 where 也是一种筛选。那 having 和 where 之间有什么区别呢？那我先给大家讲一下啊。having 是在分组后的筛选 ，OK。那 where 呢，是在分组前的筛选。那什么叫分组呢？分组不就是 group by 吗？那 group by 什么时候用 group by 啊？那不就是用 function 的时候了，才用 group by 嘛？那就是说什么 aggregate 是什么？什么 sum 啊 count 呀，对吧？之类的，还有什么 average、max、minimum 这些 aggregate function 它是计算嘛？那在计算之前的我们用 where， 那计算之后呢用 having。OK， 那我们是来尝试一下，我们举个例子 ，select。先不管 from 什么 table 呢 ？sales 的 sales order height， 我们给的 alias sho， 然后呢 inner join 一个 sales territory， 好，这样 condition。按什么 sho 的 territory ID 等于这个没给是吧 st 的 territory ID。 好，那么我们需要一个什么呢 st 的 name 和我 sum 一个什么 total due。 好，然后呢这里边呢我们要什么呢？当然要 group by 了，对吧？因为我们那个有 aggregate function 嘛。group by 什么 name。好，然后呢可以加一个 order by name。好，尝试一下。好，我们一共出了10条数据。大家看啊，这个才是结果嘛，对吧？给它起个名字吧，叫 after sum。哎，这样比较好啊，就是让大家知道这是计算之后的数啊。我们要计算这里的数，我们要什么 having， 我们要筛选一下什么这个结果啊，大于个十百千万十万百万。好，这个就变成8条了。那么我们来尝试一下 where， 它和 where 有什么区别啊？好，如果我们先把 having 去掉，我们看这个sum total， OK， 这里是10条数据 ，OK， 那么我们用一个 where， 那 where 它就不能筛选什么计算的结果，我们只能筛选什么 total 了啊。那这 total 呢，它根本就不会有800万，大于个十百千啊。个十百千万十万百万，它不可能会有大于800万，因为它是没有计算过的，所以0。那么尝试一下去掉俩0，好，去掉俩0呢有9条数据 ，OK， 但这条数据呢跟这个我们之前的数据对比呢，根本就不是一个东西啊。大家可以对比一下啊，大家看看数据呢是完全错误的啊。一个是在计算结果之前啊，筛选，那和计算结果之后筛选，那两个数根本就是天壤之别，所以大家可以看一下。好，那么大家看下一个 video。
With the having clause, let's take a look at the human resources.v employee department view. This is a consolidated view containing employee information and where they work. Now suppose we want to find only those departments that have at least 8 people working there. To start, we want to look at the department, right, because that's what we're going to be grouping on. We want to find the number of people, or the number of employees per department, and then filter those departments that had at least 8 people. So we're going to say select department as department name. Since we're finding the number of times the department appears, we're going to say count of star. So find the number of rows associated with each department. We're going to call that as employee count. Now I can't run this yet. I have to group by the department. And now when I run this, I get for each department how many employees are currently listed as belonging to that department. So again, the having clause filters out groups based on aggregate functions. So now we want to say having count of star greater than or equal to 8. And these are the 6 departments that have at least 8 employees. And you can think of it as the 6 departments that had at least 8 rows where that particular department was listed, which is essentially what the count is doing. We can use some of our other comparison operators. So we could say where the count was between 6 and 10. And we get these 9 departments that had anywhere between 6 and 10 employees. We can do, let's say, the in operator, so having count of star in 6 and 10. So how many departments had either 6 or 10 employees? And I can do that as well. So I'm not just restricted to those greater than or equal to, I can use the in and the between. I can't say I can think of a scenario where you're going to use the like operator, but some of the other ones you should be able to use no problem. So let's take a look at one more example. Going back to the sales.sales order header table, let's find, for the year 2006, how many sales and the number of sales, so the total amount and the count, for each salesperson that occurred in the year 2006 from sales.sales order header. But let's only look at those salespeople that did $2 million in total sales and 75 sales. So the sales count was 75 and the sum of the total due, or the total sales amount, exceeded 2 million. To do that, we're going to say select star from sales.sales order header. And we said we only wanted to find or consider those sales that took place in 2006. So we're going to say where order date between 1/1/2006 and 12/31/2006. Now we'll keep it simple. We won't join out to the person-to-person table to get the salesperson's name. We'll just look at the salesperson ID. So salesperson ID, that'll be our first column in the select clause. And we said we wanted to find the total sales amount and then the sales count for each salesperson. Well, to find the total sales amount, we're going to sum on this total due column like we have been. We'll call it as total sales amount. And to find the total sales count, we can just do count of star as total sales count. So we're not done yet. Now we have to group by the salesperson ID, or else we get an error. For each salesperson, we find their total sales amount and their total sales count for sales that took place in the year 2006. Let's order our results by the total sales amount in descending order. There were a lot of sales with a null salesperson ID. So let's actually, just for the sake of this, let's ignore those. So in our where clause, we'll just say, and salesperson ID is not null. So now we're only going to look at those sales that were associated with the salesperson, or where the salesperson ID is not null. Now we said that we wanted to only consider those salespeople, or only return those salespeople to our result set that did at least $2 million in sales amount and at least 75 sales. So since we're filtering out groups, which in this case is our salespeople, we have to use the having clause, which follows the group by clause. So we're going to say having sum of total due greater than 2 million and count of star greater than 75. So what salespeople did more than $2 million in sales and more than 75 total sales? I think I might have said earlier at least, so if it was at least, we could just do greater than or equal to. So when I execute this, I drop from 14 rows to 6. So these are the 6 salespeople that met both criteria, that did at least $2 million in sales and at least 75 total orders. So in this query, no, we haven't done any joins, but we've used all 6 of our SQL clauses. The other interesting thing we did here is in the having clause, we used a logical operator and. The same Boolean expression evaluation discussion that we had back with the where clause is applicable to the having clause. So the same order of operations and the same way that we can use parentheses to define the order in which we want those Boolean expressions evaluated, that process is the exact same for the having clause. So that'll wrap up the having clause. Definitely take a look at the practice problems to get some more experience. But again, the having and the where clause are very, very similar. The only difference is the where clause filters out rows of data based on column values, while the having clause filters out groups based on aggregate functions.
好，那这个上一个 video 主要讲的是这个 having 后面的还可以用 and 笔顺 and 还可以用 in 很多function跟 where 后面用的差不多啊。那我们就看一下用一下啊。我们就用一下。比如说我们有一个 OK 有 sum， 那再来一个 count star 吧。count star，count one 和 count star 是一样的啊。这个 count one 呢，它那个好像是稍微快一点。好 ，and count one 大于1，我们看一下它会不会出结果。会，它会出10条，这些都大于1，那我们大于10试一试啊。好，大于1000啊，这就变成7条了。所以这个说，好，我们这个 count one 啊，count one 可比那 count star 稍微运行快一点。具体重新说啊，那 count one 和 count star 是一样的一个功能。那我们这个可以尝试一下啊，比如说我们后面还可以加 and count one， 好，比如说大于1000，那我们看一下啊，这个结果还是10条吗？哎，它变7条了。好，那我们来看一下，它用这个笔顺 and 啊，我们算一下这个 count 的笔顺1000到5000之间，它有多少个？这个是7个啊。好，我们可以看出这个1000到5000之间，有5个。那这个5000到10000之间会有几个呢？看一下啊。好，就剩2了。也就是1000的，那一共有7个。好，这就是一些这个用法，大家可以自己尝试一下。那往下看，是最后一个，最后一个是作业了。那我把这个当录下来。好，大家可以打开这个，然后练一下啊，这就是当做你们的作业了。那么这一期的 SQL 入门我们就讲完了，大家有没有感觉自己已经入门了呢？如果想继续学这个高级的 SQL 叫 T-SQL 啊，大家可以联系我。然后呢，接下来我会推出很多不一样的课，包括 Excel， 包括这个包括 T-SQL， 包括 Power BI， 还有很多各种各样数据分析师需要的、知道的一些操作软件，那我们接下来都会一一的出，所以呢，大家敬请期待。